Hey there, Rush fans. This is Mark Benetti alongside you for your latest edition of Behind the Bench, presented by Assurance Solutions, where we ask your favorite Rush players questions you've submitted to us on our social media platforms. This week's a special one-on-one edition, and joining me for the second time on the program is Rush defenseman Brett Kostolansky. And right behind us right now, gearing up for tonight's matchup, we have the Missouri Mavericks practicing. And Costo, that actually goes into our first question. This is the fourth time in the last week and a half you're playing this team. What kind of a mindset do you carry in with a big stretch of games like that?
Well, I just think every time we play Missouri, we know it's going to be a battle. They're big, physical, like to bang, and it's going to be a good game no matter what. So I think every time playing them, we just got to be ready for anything, ready for getting hit, ready for good plays, ready for everything.
So 4 games in the last week and a half. Do things start to mellow out? Do things get testy on the ice? Is it what's the emotion like, so to speak, as it goes on?
Well, I think it just depends on who you're playing. You know, I think definitely against Missouri it amps up because every time we play them, you know, it's going to be a hard game. It's going to be a tough game. And I think as the games have gone, as we keep playing, they get more and more intense, and they start banging more. We start banging more. I think it's going to be a real intense one.
So as a defenseman from the back end, how often do you notice adjustments being thrown at you, and what's that like, even though it's the same opponent, trying to prepare for different things thrown at you constantly in the series?
I think just you notice it on the ice. You got to be real quick to notice it. If they forecheck harder, if they forecheck 2 guys, forecheck 1 guy, just depends on what they throw, and you adjust on the ice.
So 6 wins in a row against the Missouri Mavericks in the last 6 games that you've played against them, whether it's here in Rushmore Plaza Civic Center or on the road. Clearly, it's awesome to be on the high end of things. How do you manage the emotions high to low through a stretch of games like that?
Well, I just think at any time you got to just keep even keel. It can't go too high, can't get too low. I mean, obviously sometimes you're going to be on a winning streak and you just want to focus on the one day at a time and just keep going like that.
Well, we'll take a quick commercial break. After a word from our sponsor, we'll be back with your second half of Behind the Bench.
My job at Assurant involves keeping our customers informed at a time when they need us the most. I care about doing a good job for my company, but mostly I care about the people I serve. I found the same spirit of caring in a lot of my coworkers at Assurant. In the communities where we operate, we get involved with outreach groups and local charities. The same teams that are so good at helping our customers are also hard at work helping out in our neighborhoods. I think if I had to tell somebody one thing about Assurant, I'd say we care.
And we're back with your second half of Behind the Bench, presented by Assurance Solutions, joined for a special one-on-one edition with Rush defenseman Brett Kostolansky, making his second appearance on the program. So, Brett, we talked about what it's like to be on the high end of a winning streak against an opponent. Unfortunately, with as fast as hockey progresses and as quickly as things change, that's not always going to happen, and you'll be on the unfortunate end of things. What's it like to rebound when you're in an unfortunate stretch against one opponent?
Well, I think definitely it's great. It's a great feeling to rebound. Finally, you feel like you can kickstart something and think you can build off it and moving forward for the future.
Now, you're in your second year as a professional, your first year in the ECHL, and something I've noticed, especially along the lines being in minor hockey as long as I've been now, the inundation of college players and collegiate athletes and standouts doing great things in the minor pro hockey world. You had the fortunate but semi-unfortunate experience, as you were telling me on the bus one time on the road, of playing against Chris Kreider, who's now with the New York Rangers. Played with Boston College, you with UNH. What was that experience like, just playing against somebody who eventually made it to the NHL?
Well, I mean, it was exciting. It was fun. I mean, at the time, Boston College had a great team. I think they won the national championship that year, and we were fighting for Hockey East championship against them. And you know, just playing against guys like that, they make you better. They make you reevaluate the game and make you just try to step up to their level if you can get there.
So, being a collegiate standout yourself and seeing more collegiate players, especially now at the AA level here in the ECHL, what does that tell you as far as the trend of pro hockey and where it's going?
I mean, I've always thought college hockey is a great road to go. Obviously, major junior for the Canadian guys and some American guys, they choose that. But I've always thought college hockey is a great way to go. You get an education and you have the chance to play hockey afterwards. So, I mean, you really get the best of both worlds, if you will.
Last question for you, Brett. 19 games to go in the season. The team is tied for 4th place in the Central Division. What's your mindset going into this final home stretch of the season?
The mindset's got to be just one day at a time. We can't look too far ahead. We just got to focus on one game at a time and make sure we get as many points as we can coming down the home stretch.
Well, thanks so much for joining us, Brett. Great to have you back on the program. That's it for your latest edition of Behind the Bench, presented by Assurance Solutions. And don't forget to submit your favorite Rush players, questions you've submitted to us on our social media platforms.
Yeah.